morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time zone you might be in or what time you might be watching this. My name is Erica. I totally missed that in my introduction video or first video or whatever you want to call it. So I wanted to talk about when I found out that I had breast cancer. I was diagnosed with ductal carcinoma, breast cancer in my breast duct in July, 6 months ago. So I first went to the doctor in August of 2021. And I do like cooking. Yeah. I went to the doctor in August of 2021 because I felt a lump in my breast. And at that time, because I do have the family cancer history, she went ahead and referred me out for a mammogram and an ultrasound. And at that time, the growth was only about 0.5 to 1 centimeter, which normally is something that you want to get biopsied. But at that time, they said, hey, you're young, don't worry about this. It's no big deal. I'm sure it's benign. Yeah. So I went ahead and went on vacation, forgot I even went to the doctor. Here comes Christmas in December, so now we're going from August to December, so 4 months later, and roughly, because I was like, anyways. So I hanging out watching movies Christmas night, laying on my side, and I had an itch, and I went like this, and that itch made me discover about a golf ball size lump. I was like, oh, dang, this is bad. So I immediately called the doctor the next morning when they opened up and came in to see her. She went in and examined me, immediately referred me out for a ultrasound and a mammogram. So I went about the next week and I got my mammogram done and I got my ultrasound done. And in the appointment, they were like, you're gonna need a biopsy. I was like, okay, not realizing, but I did find out. So I'm in there and I'm waiting to set up the biopsy and get scheduled. And the girl came in that had assisted the doctor. And she said, yeah, so this one is in the same place as it was in August. And I was like, in August? I think you're confused because the last lump I had investigated was on my right side. She was like, no, I'm not confused. Here's your notes. And she showed me that I had come in August and they had found this lump. And I was like, oh, well, has it grown? Is it bigger? What, She was like, oh, I don't know. Let me check. So she went and got the numbers on the one from August, which was the same lump, and then what the current measurements were. And it had went from 0.51 centimeters to 3.5 centimeters. So in 4 months, we grew a few centimeters. The average breast cancer tumor that's found is it's about 0.5 to 1 centimeters. So that was a little disconcerting. And fast forward a week, I came in, I got a biopsy. And biopsies take roughly 4 to 5 days to come back. That Friday, I got a call from my doctor's office and they asked me to come in. And I was like, that's weird because usually they call me with the results. I don't come in for, So I was like, oh, this is really bad. And so I went in and found out that I had breast cancer. So I found out that I had estrogen positive ductal carcinoma, in situ ductal carcinoma is what it's called. And she immediately referred me out to KU Med and got set up to see an oncologist and a breast cancer surgeon. Usually they pair you up, they team you up with your surgeon and your oncologist and your reconstruction plastic surgeon. So I called, got all that set up, and I went to see them probably like 2 weeks later. I got set up to see them. I went in, found out that, so your breast surgeon, that's the person who's gonna cut in and do whatever you need to do in there. Your oncologist is gonna be your treatment plan person. Something I found interesting was that my breast surgeon told me constantly that what she does doesn't affect what the oncologist is going to do. I'm a researcher, so I looked all of this up. So before she wanted to tell me, oh, whatever you do, it's not gonna affect the other and blah, 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 blah. That's not true, because I researched, and instead of listening to her, I went ahead and did what I wanted to and set up for what I wanted to, because I believed that from my research, I was correct. And I was actually correct. They do matter, because if I had gotten a single mastectomy, which they would have just taken this and they wouldn't have taken this, or had I had a lumpectomy, which I wasn't even eligible for, but anyways, a lot of women, most women are eligible for a lumpectomy. But I found out that had I done that, then it would have been suggested, because you can decline anything. You don't have to do every treatment they suggest to you. Had I done that, then I would have had to do radiation, chemo, all of those things, which I probably still would have declined. But yeah, you don't have to do everything that they suggest. You can do some research and say, hey, I don't like the side effects of this treatment that you're suggesting right now. Is there another treatment available? Because there's just a lot of stuff involved. Radiation has its yuckies, chemo has its yuckies, and I didn't want to fool with any of that. I also, even though she says that your reoccurrence rate is not affected by whether you do a lumpectomy, a single mastectomy, or the bilateral mastectomy, yeah, I think like less breast tissue, less chance that you're going to have it reoccur. There's less space for it to come back and say hello. So that's what went into my decision. I did decline radiation on mine, but that's more for further discussions. I think everybody should choose their own path and get a second opinion. If you don't like their route of what you're going to do, get a second opinion. Or if you don't like how they're talking to you, get a second opinion, because you need to be comfortable. This is not fun. This is not enjoyable. This is not a wham bam thank you ma'am and it's over. No, it's not. It's not at all. But anyways, I was diagnosed at 36. I had my surgery at 37 in 2 days. That was a weird birthday present, but I guessed it when we went in. I went in for second or third appointment, because I had to go get additional biopsies. I had to get additional scans. I had an MRI done, a contrast MRI, lots of stuff, lots of blood draws. They have to type it. They have to figure out, you know, if you do need to do, if they can shrink it, you could do radiation or chemo beforehand. I'm not really sure why mine wasn't eligible for that. And then maybe I could have done a lumpectomy. I'm not really, I don't know all the answers, but I've done a lot of research and I know some of the answers. So, yeah. I definitely think you should read up on it. You shouldn't just take their word for it. I think you should learn about it. I think you should figure out what's going on and not just be like, whatever they say I have to do, I'm gonna do. No, I didn't anyways. I had to research. I had to know for myself what was gonna be the best plan, what was gonna be the best action plan. So anyhow, I had my mastectomy 2 days after my birthday. And there's a lot to that too. And there's a lot that I wish I had been told, because there's a lot with mastectomies that aren't pleasant. I don't think any of this is pleasant. I do think that there's a lot of side effects that definitely suck. Especially having this all happen so young. It's not fun. It's not good. I'm happy that I didn't have small children, because this would have been so much more painful, so much more difficult. So, yeah, I got through it so far. I still have a ways to go, which is why I'm going to document this and kind of walk through the experiences and create videos and explain kind of like what you go through, the mental health aspects, the physical aspects that are very difficult. And I'm gonna figure out how to do it on YouTube, or how to share some of the videos from, or the pictures more so, because it's mostly pictures that I took through this whole thing. And I think I'm gonna do kind of a collage, just kind of step through them. I'm trying to figure out how to do that and not get banned on YouTube, because even though it's medical, it's like, you know, it's medically what happens. I think a lot of people still get taken down for it. And I've seen some though. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot. But anyhow, there is a lot of scarring that happens. I mean, just even from the drainage tubes, it's just part of it. But I'll talk about that more too. Kind of step through. I'm in the process of going on to my next surgery. So my next surgery is going to be my exchange, because right now I have expanders. So not to get too graphic. Anyways, I have expanders in. So all this is, which you can see, this is an expander. And that is where they fill it up. So I will go into more detail and explain these little puppies. I know that some women are able to just go direct to implant. For my situation, they had to take a lot of skin. And so I have pictures of that as well. I'm gonna post and just kind of show you from the beginning until where I am. Because initially when I popped out of surgery, I had these big duct tape things across here. And much, much smaller. It was almost flat chested, but not quite. A little bit of CC in there. I think right now I'm at like 435 cc, and my finals are going to be 500 cc, which I've noticed is very different on different women, because I've seen some women say they're going like 800 cc, and I'm like, I thought I was going to explode at this. I don't know how they do it, but they do. So I definitely want to talk more about that. If you have any suggestions or want to hear about anything or see anything, definitely comment. Let me know what would be interesting, or what you want to see, or what you want to learn about it, because this is all new territory for me too, but I'm learning, and I plan to just have everybody kind of like go through my journey with me, or at least explain, give them more insight. I'm also planning on nipple tattoos. I don't know if I can say that, so I might have to just like put that out there. So I'm also gonna go through that, because I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the permanents there are these lovely tattoo things that I'll definitely share. I have 2 right now. I have 2 left. I'm trying different colors, different shapes. You can get big ones, little ones. Yeah, so when they took all of it. I don't have nipples anymore. I have no breasts, I have no nipples. It's all gone. That was rough. That was really rough. But I'm alive. I didn't have to go through a bunch of chemo. I didn't have to go through a ton of radiation. But that was a me choice. I don't suggest that for everybody. It was a me thing that I wasn't gonna do it. And so the only option I had was to go ahead and do the mastectomy, which I didn't really have a lot of option in that either. I was not a candidate for a lumpectomy. I was not a candidate for nipple sparing. It was all off the table. So, but because I was triple negative, that also is another reason that I didn't have the same treatments as everybody else, and everybody's breast cancer is different. So there might be suggestions for one person that's not available for another person. Anyhow, like, share, and subscribe. I've got more coming. I'm definitely going to figure out how to throw a video up of what these things look like. And they are things because it's not my breasts anymore. It's not, you know. But for educational purposes and just sharing with other people who might be going through similar things as me, I do want to show people kind of like what to expect, and for people who don't know about it or just are interested in it, kind of show you like what all this is and what happens, and dispel some of the rumors of like what happens with breast cancer, because I had no idea. I walked into this totally just done. Like I had no idea. This was all new to me. Of course, I also didn't think that I'd get breast cancer at 40 years old. I kind of felt like I was young, and that was not on the table for me. Yeah, I was wrong. So, anyhow, see you next time.